One in the pond, pond number. Okay, we're now approaching area within about 25, 30 feet. What kind of readings are we getting? Anything? Just minor clicks. Minor clicks. What are the impressions? There's one. Is that a little bigger than they are? Well, there's one more well defined. Security control? Up to what, 7? What? Just jumped up to 7 tenths there. 7 tenths right there in the center? Uh-huh. We found a small blast, what looks like a blasted or scruffed up area here. We're getting very positive readings. Let's see, is that near the center? Yes, it is. This is what we would assume would be the dead center. Just pick it up more as we go along the whole area now.
Rendlesham Forest borders a joint British-American air base in Suffolk, England, where on Christmas night 1980, security patrolmen saw lights descend into the trees, resembling a craft in trouble. Sergeant Jim Peniston approached a glowing triangular object covered in strange symbols and touched its warm surface for several minutes before it rose silently and shot away faster than any known craft. Over the next 2 nights, more airmen witnessed beams of light sweeping the forest and small beings with large heads skittering beyond the trees. Deputy Base Commander Charles Halt took a team with radiation detectors and recorded readings that skyrocketed around depressions in the ground that formed a perfect triangle. His tape still exists with his own voice describing a red orb exploding into white light above their heads.
You just saw a light where? Wait, slow down. Where?
Right in this position here, straight ahead, in between the tree. There it is again. Watch, straight ahead off my flash right there, sir. There it is.
Hey, I see it too. What is it?
We don't know, sir.
So can I get some of it? Yeah, it's a strange, small red light. Looks to be out maybe a quarter to half mile, maybe further out. It appears to be maybe moving a little bit this way. It's brighter than it has been.
Yellow?
It's coming this way. It is definitely coming this way. Pieces of it are shooting off. There is no doubt about it. This is weird.
To the left.
Yeah, definitely moving left.
Two lights.
One
light to the front,
okay.
One light to the left.
Keep the flashlights off. There's something very, very strange. Pieces were falling off it again.
But it just moved to the right.
Yeah.
Off to the right.
Strange.
Ministry of Defense files, released decades later, contain sketches by the witnesses matching the craft Peniston touched and reports of animals going berserk in nearby farms. Veterans of the incident suffer health problems to this day. Some speak of lost time during the events. Hours missing with no memory of what transpired. The forest is now called Britain's Roswell, and the markers placed by the Forestry Service still draw thousands every year. Rendlesham keeps its secrets close. On quiet nights, base personnel still see lights dancing between the trunks exactly where the triangle landed. And every witness knows that the forest remembers what it showed them that fateful Christmas. The Freetown Fall River State Forest sits in southeastern Massachusetts inside the infamous Bridgewater Triangle. Settlers first cleared the land in the 1600s, but the ground had already drunk the blood of raids and cult murders that stained the rocks red. In 1978, the body of 15-year-old Mary Lou Aruda was found tied to a tree. Her killer finally caught years later. Yet locals swear her cries still drift through the pines on autumn nights. Hikers report compasses spinning in useless circles and dogs refusing to cross certain trails, as if an invisible wall stands in their way. In the 1980s, a group of teenagers camping near Profile Rock heard drums and chanting in a language none of them knew. Torchlight began to move between the trunks, with no one carrying the flames. One boy woke to find his sleeping bag dragged 30 feet into the forest maw, while he still slept inside it. Police have logged dozens of missing person cases over the decades, with search parties finding tents slashed open from the inside and shoes lined up neatly, as if the poor souls were chased out of their own tents by forces beyond understanding. In 2015, a trail camera captured a tall, faceless figure standing motionless for hours before the memory card corrupted itself. State troopers on night patrol have chased vehicles that vanish when the road ends. Yet the headlights still glow deep in the woods, where no road exists. UFO sightings spike every few years, with orange orbs hovering above the treetops, before shooting straight up, faster than any known craft. The forest keeps growing stranger. Fresh carvings appear overnight on trees that were bare the evening before. Symbols that match nothing in any book. Those who camp there now leave before sunset because the rangers themselves admit some sections of the woods are best left alone after dark. Hoia Baciu Forest spreads west of Cluj-Napoca in Transylvania, grounds where shepherds once feared to graze their flocks. In 1968, a technician named Emil Barnia took photographs on a Sunday hike and captured a perfect flying disc hovering above the trees, the first public picture of its kind in communist Romania. When the photos hit newspapers, people finally spoke openly about the circular clearing at the heart of the forest, where nothing grows. Visitors who step into that dead circle feel sudden nausea and a burning sensation on their skin. Watches stop. Cameras fail. And some collapse with nosebleeds. A little girl vanished inside the circle in the 1930s and walked out 5 years later without having aged a day. She had no recollection of where she had been or any knowledge of what language she now muttered in her sleep. Time slips are common. Hikers enter at noon and emerge at dusk, claiming only minutes had passed, leaving their friends in panic for hours. Others hear the laughter of children running between trunks that stand empty when flashlights sweep the area. Burn marks appear on tree bark, shaped like human hands pressed hard against the wood. In the 2000s, tourists started leaving coins and notes in the circle, asking for wishes. Many reported returning to find their money melted into the soil or their notes burned to ash. Yet, like an oversized monkey's paw, the wishes came true, but in twisted ways that ruined lives. Paranormal teams from Europe set up equipment overnight and woke to find every tent moved up to 50 yards from where they were originally set. The circle keeps growing larger each year, drawing the curious. It's as if the forest itself is being eaten from the inside out. Those who spend the night near it wake with perfect ring-shaped bruises around their throats, and the feeling that something counted their breaths while they dreamed. If you're still with me, light the path forward with a like or comment. Only you can light the way. The Black Forest of Baden-Württemberg swallowed entire villages during the plague years, back when the panicked blamed witches for the dying. Between the years of 1590 and 1660, over 3,000 women and men were burned alive on those slopes, their screams carried for miles by the mountain wind. Caves still hold iron rings, bolted to stone, where prisoners were chained until the flames came for them. Hunters today find circles of blackened earth, where no fire has burned in living memory. They report hearing the crackle of kindling that smells of flesh. In 1938, a group of youth on a camping trip woke to find their campfire surrounded by women in old-fashioned dresses, who vanished when the boys shouted. The leader kept a diary entry about it until the secret police took the book and the boys were disappeared. Clocks brought into certain valleys run backward or stop completely. Hikers report sudden fog that forms faces of screaming women before dissolving. Carved wooden masks appear hanging from branches with real hair and teeth that were not there the day before. In the 70s, an American Army unit training near Freiburg chased lights through the trees and found a clearing littered with children's shoes from the 1700s. Every man in the patrol suffered nightmares of being burned alive for years afterwards. The Army quietly moved the exercise area miles away. The Black Forest keeps its old bargains. Locals still leave bread and milk at certain stumps on winter nights. The milk is gone by morning, and the bread crumbs form trails leading deeper into the trees, waiting for anyone foolish enough to follow. Robinson Woods sits on the edge of Chicago, where Potawatomi Chief Alexander Robinson once owned the land granted for his help saving settlers during the Fort Dearborn Massacre. When the city swallowed the reservation in the 1800s, his family graveyard was bulldozed for a park, bones scattered and headstones broken. Strange fires began burning with no fuel almost immediately. Joggers reported seeing tall figures in buckskin watching from the tree line. In 1955, a group of teenagers skipping school found an apparition of an old chief sitting on a log and smoking a pipe. They ran. When police arrived, only warm ashes remained, where no fire should have been. The officer who investigated felt ice-cold hands on his neck and quit the force a week later. Temperature drops of 30 degrees happen in seconds with no wind. Voices speaking in a language long dead drift between the oaks. Park workers find tobacco and feathers laid neatly on picnic tables overnight with no footprints leading to them or away. In the 1980s, construction crews trying to widen the road unearthed human remains, and every machine broke down the same day until the bones were reburied with proper ceremony. The equipment started again the moment the last shovelful of dirt fell. Locals now leave offerings of tobacco at the stone marker, noting that the cold spots vanish when respect is shown. Robinson Woods still belongs to the chief and his people. Those who walk there after dark hear drumming that grows louder the deeper they go. And some swear they see campfires glowing between trees that stand empty when the trail is checked at sunrise. Daring Woods in England is better known as the Screaming Woods, because on certain nights, the screams of the dying echo through the trees, with no living throat to make them. In 1948, a group of pilgrims heading to a religious festival vanished among those oaks, leaving only their scattered belongings found the next morning. The army searched for days and heard nothing but silence until the final night, when every soldier swore they heard hundreds of voices crying out at once. Walkers today report compasses spinning wildly and sudden overwhelming dread that sends them running back the way they came. Hooded figures are seen standing motionless at crossroads, vanishing when blinked at. In the 1960s, a man running from the police dashed into the woods and was never seen again, though his torch was found still burning over 24 hours later. Campers wake to find their tents surrounded by bare footprints that stop at the canvas as if someone stood there all night. Names are called in the darkness, using voices of loved ones who are fast asleep miles away. Some who answer the call walk off, and the lucky ones are found days later deep into the trees with no memory of the journey. In 2015, a paranormal group set up motion cameras and captured a gray shape rushing past the lens fast enough to blur. Their audio recorded screams that rose and fell for exactly 7 minutes, then cut off, as if a hand clamped every mouth at once. They packed up before dawn and have never returned. These woods keep their dead close and continue to add more to their numbers. The screams come most often on the anniversary of the pilgrim's disappearance. Those who hear them say the sound follows them home for weeks afterward, no matter how far they drive. You now carry 6 forests in your mind, where the trees have eyes and the ground remembers every footstep ever taken upon it. Keep that subscribe button pressed and the bell rung, so the next warning reaches you before you reach the tree line. Until the next shadow falls, this is Ham Hawk Horror, signing off.